Hello and welcome. This is class number 27 of the UPSC Mains Answer Writing Initiative, a place where we answer previous year questions and try and remove the fear of answer writing from your mind. This is the 27th class of this series. In case you have missed out on any of the earlier classes, I am giving the link of the entire playlist in the description of the video. Also reminding and requesting you once again, if you have still not hit the subscribe button on this channel, please do this right away. If you want PDF of these lectures, you can join the Telegram channel. The link is in the description of this video. I upload all the PDFs of the lectures on that channel every single day. If you are new here, I would like to remind you, if you are new here and you are new to answer writing and you don't know how to begin, how to write an answer, what to do, I would highly advise you to go to class number 1 of this series. When we started this series in the first class, we talked about how to write the introduction, what to include, what not to include, how to write the main body, how to write the conclusion, all these things we discussed in the very first class. So make sure that you go through that and you clarify all your doubts. Once you're done with that, you can come back. Let's see what is the question that we will be solving today. So we have taken up again a question from 2023. We are almost at the end of GS 1, 2, 3 papers of 2023. Just a few ones remaining. This is a question from GS3 of 2023, question from environment. The IPCC has predicted a global sea level rise of about 1 meter by 2100. What would be its impact in India and other countries in the Indian Ocean region? Now, when you see these questions, don't be scared that, oh, I have not read this report. Most of the people will get scared, oh, I don't know what IPCC is, I don't know what they said in the report. Don't worry. Question is not asking you about the report. If the question would have been about the report, then it would have been a different thing altogether. They have just told you, in fact, given you a fact that as per this report, the sea level will increase by 1 meter. Now, the question is its impact. And now there is something interesting here. The question is its impact on India and other countries. Now, some people will think that, okay, I will write impact on India separately and then on other countries I'll write it separately. But that is not really correct, because see, when sea level rises, it will have the same impact on India and other countries. So rather than thinking, oh, I will write impact on India separately, other countries separately, that does not really make any sense. The question may have asked you impact on India and other countries, but that does not mean that you will have to segregate India separate and other countries separate, because again the impact will be the same. If impact would have been different in different countries, that would have been a different matter altogether. So rather than segregating it in the form of India and other countries, it is better that in such cases segregate it in terms of different types of impact. For example, there will be an environmental impact related to what will happen to the environment. There is an economic side to it. That is, how much losses do we expect in India and around the entire region, in the Indian Ocean region, what will happen, economic losses, social losses or social impact. So rather than dividing it in this category, it's advisable to divide it something like this. Examiners always prefer if you give these kind of categories. In essay, in GS papers also, whenever you have to write an impact of a problem or impact of a certain issue, it's advisable to categorize like this: environmental impact, social impact, economic impact, so on and so forth. So that is how we will write this. So let's see how to begin. Now, in the beginning, if you have read the report or if you know what IPCC is, that can be a very good introduction. But if you don't know what the report talked about, if you don't know what exactly is IPCC, then what do? Then you just expand on that statement like this. The projection of 1 meter sea level rise by 2100 looms over Indian Ocean region and poses a major challenge of coastal flooding, displacement of communities, etc. So something like this can be an intro. Either you know about this report, you have read in detail, you know any other fact from that, you can go ahead with that fact. If IPCC, for example, itself said something apart from this in the report and you know that, that can be a very good fact. But most of the people would not know this report. Even if you would know, you just would know the headline, and that headline is given the question itself. So if you don't know anything extra, what do? Just expand on that question. One thing I would advise you here, many people just repeat the entire statement of the question. Please don't do that. Many people, what they do is in the introduction, they will just repeat word by word from here to here. Please, please, please don't do that. That it can irritate the examiner, because the examiner would think that you can't even write in your own words one single line. So even if you're writing this line only, for example in the intro, we have written this line only, just expanded a bit, but at least we have reworded it. So in the entire answer, don't try and don't even attempt to rewrite the entire line that the question has, because that does not give a very good impression. Please don't do that. So that is the introduction. Main body, as I said, we will segregate the impact into environmental, economic, social. So environmental impact, sinking of coastline, obviously it will lead to wetland degradation, coral bleaching would be a major impact, displacement of flora and fauna, and even groundwater salination. Again, not necessary that you would remember all of these. Whichever you remember, just try and write. One other mistake many people do, what people will do is they will make a kind of, let's say, a whatever you want to call it, flow chart, diagram, mind map. They will write environmental impact here, and then they will basically do this. That is also fine. I'm not saying that's wrong. But in that manner, you are not explaining it. So I would prefer you at least write one line each about it. Because if you just give a pictorial representation, that means you are just writing a couple of words. You'll just write shrinking of coastline, fauna displacement. At least write a few words about it. That gives a much better impression. Economic impact, it would result in damage of property in the coastal areas. Similarly, it would have loss of livelihood for people living in the areas that are employed in the coastal areas. Livelihood will be damaged. Rise in unemployment, that will also be a major impact. Then there are social impacts, mainly displacement of people. A lot of people would have to shift their houses either forcefully, or they would plan to do that. Because they would shift their houses in countries such as India and other highly populated countries, or densely populated countries rather, when you bring in people from coastline into the inland area, that would increase the stress on population. So population stress would increase, stress on resources would increase. We anyways have compact land as compared to the population of the country. So stress on resources, land, etc. would increase. Stress on fresh water, etc. will also increase. So all that will be the impact. So this is how, whenever the question, any kind of question asks you what an impact, it's better to divide it in terms of different impacts: ecological, social, environmental. That would always give a much better impression. Now, because the question is asking what a problem, we will give a solution also. Couple of points or even 3 points would be good enough. Solution would be, as all of you know, how to tackle against this climate change, reduce greenhouse gas emission, have some adaptation measures. You can give examples of what is happening. Now, over here, it is highly advisable that since the question is not just about India, if you can give example of some other country as well, it will be very well suitable. Here we have given example, for example, let's say of Indonesia, because the question is India and other Indian Ocean region countries. So if you can give example of other countries, what are they doing, that would be very good. So you can talk about sustainable development, international collaboration, how countries can work together. You can talk about more funding, loss and damage fund, etc., where countries should come together and work against climate change. And then we'll conclude it, how other researchers have also predicted the same pattern. There's no research that says that climate change is a hoax. Everyone believes climate change is true. Water level will increase. There is just a bit of dispute about when and how much impact would it have, or how quickly would it have an impact. So it's important to work together, because no one single country will be able to manage this problem alone. That is how you conclude this answer. Now coming to the homework for you. This is your homework from GS3, internal security. What are the internal security challenges being faced by India? Give out the role of central intelligence and investigative agencies tasked to counter such threats. So it's an Open-ended question. Open-ended question gives you a lot of options. What do you have to write? It's just asking you whatever you think are internal security challenges, you can write. Be it terrorism, be it drugs, be it organized crime, be it illegal immigration, whatever you want to write, whatever you think are big internal security challenges, Naxalism, etc., you write from that point of view. You can submit your answers to this email ID. I'll be happy to give you feedback. One request, if you do intend to submit the answer, submit in the PDF form and not in image form. PDF is much easier for me to evaluate and send it back. Please do invite other friends also here to this channel. As you can see, I am putting in some hard work here, working extra hours. So please invite your friends here as well, that they can take advantage of these initiatives. Do hit the subscribe button if you have not done so far. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Jai Hind.